All right, today we are going on an absolutely epic journey through time. And I don't mean just a few centuries or even millennia. Nope, we're talking billions of years. We are going to try and unpack the entire history of planet Earth. 4.5 billion years. Seriously, just try to let that number sink in. That is the story of our planet, from a scorching ball of molten rock to the green and blue world we see today. It's a biography so incredibly long that all of human history, everything you've ever read about, is like the last word on the very last page. So a story that long, where do you even start? How do scientists possibly make sense of these huge, almost unimaginable stretches of deep time? Well, they use this. This is the geological timescale. Now I know it looks a little complicated, but just think of it as the ultimate table of contents for Earth's life story. It's our map to the past, put together by studying rock layers and the fossils buried inside them. It lets us organize billions of years into chapters we can actually understand. And like any good book, it's all organized. The biggest, grandest chapters are called eons. Then, those eons are broken down into eras. Eras get divided into periods, and finally, periods are broken down into the shortest little sections called epochs. This whole structure is how we navigate from the very, very beginning all the way to right now. So let's do it. Let's turn to page 1. Chapter 1, the incredibly long and mysterious Precambrian. And when I say long, I mean it. This first chapter is by far the longest, stretching from the moment Earth formed all the way to about 570 million years ago. It's so massive, it's split into 3 eons, the Hadean, the Archean, and the Proterozoic. Get this, we're talking about almost 90% of Earth's entire history all packed into this one section, before complex life really even got started. You have to picture a truly alien world. Forget about trees and animals. Fiery continents were just beginning to form in primordial oceans. The air, it was a toxic soup of carbon dioxide. For billions of years, life was barely a spark, just simple bacteria. Then came algae, which started the absolutely monumental job of pumping oxygen into the atmosphere, literally setting the stage for everything that was to come. So, after billions of years of prep work, the stage was finally set. And in the next chapter, boom, an absolute explosion of diversity. Welcome to the Paleozoic era, where life finally takes the spotlight. This era is carved up into 6 different periods, from the Cambrian all the way to the Permian. And each one of these represents a huge evolutionary leap forward for life on Earth. It was, to put it mildly, a time of wild innovation. It's like everything just suddenly accelerated. The oceans flooded with bizarre creatures, the first invertebrates. Then came the first fish, a total game changer. But the biggest deal of all, life crawled out of the water and onto land. Plants started to take root, creating brand new habitats, which allowed amphibians to emerge, who were then followed by the reptiles. And they were ready to take over. But the rule of these early reptiles really just marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of a whole new one. The world was changing again, and a new dynasty was about to rise, something even more spectacular. And yup, this is the one you've been waiting for, the Mesozoic era, or as pretty much everyone on Earth knows it, the Age of Dinosaurs. This era is split into those 3 iconic periods that every kid knows and loves, right? The Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. For 180 million years, this was their world. Dinosaurs were the undisputed kings of the planet. Now, while these giants were stomping around, other familiar faces were starting to show up. We see frogs and turtles for the first time. And, hiding in the shadows, trying not to get stepped on, the very first mammals emerge, tiny little creatures. But this whole incredible world was heading for a dramatic, catastrophic finale, the extinction of the dinosaurs. In what was basically a geological instant, they were gone. An asteroid slammed into the Earth, changing the world forever and wiping out not just the dinosaurs, but countless other species with them. So, the biggest, baddest players on the entire planet were suddenly taken off the board. The question is, what came next? Who was going to fill that enormous void? Well, the answer to that question brings us to our own era, the one we are living in right now, the Cenozoic era, better known as the rise of mammals. With the dinosaurs gone, those little mammals that had been hiding for millions of years finally had their chance. And boy, did they take it.
They thrived, they diversified, becoming the ancestors of the animals we know today. We see rabbits and hares appear, flowering plants and trees start to spread everywhere, totally changing the landscape. And then we see the anthropoid apes, which eventually led to early human ancestors. Our own story was finally beginning.
Okay, now let's zoom in. I mean, way in. We're going from the massive scale of eons and eras all the way down to our tiny little sliver of geologic time, the Holocene epoch. This is it, just 10,000 years. This is the little slice of time that contains all of recorded human history. The pyramids, the Roman Empire, the invention of the internet, you, me, it all happens right here, in this tiny little window. Now, let's put that into perspective one last time. 10,000 years of human civilization versus 4.5 billion years of planetary history. It's just humbling, isn't it? Our entire recorded story is less than a blink of an eye in the life of the Earth. And this is how we're listed on that huge geological timescale. Modern man, Homo sapiens. We are the most recent entry in a story that is 4.5 billion years long. Which, of course, leaves us with one final, pretty big question. After 4.5 billion years of history, of continents forming and life exploding and entire worlds vanishing, what will our chapter look like in the grand story of planet Earth?